And we will also be able to would also be ready to provide support, technical and non-technical, where necessary, on the WhatsApp group chat. So please endeavor to reach out where you need clarifications, questions, and any other area you would like support in. And I believe we are going to have a successful, insightful, and transformative learning experience in the Data Science Research Training Program with ADA Global Academy. ADA Global Academy is an online educational technology company that provides data science research and IT capacity. And I believe we would find this data science research program fruitful and a boost to our research journey and a solid foundation in the field of data science and research. I'll be handing over now to Professor Olawale Awe, who's the president of Ida Global Academy, and will be taking the first session for today. Thank you, Prof, and over to you.
Right. Thank you so much, John. Hello. How are you today? Hello, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Hi.
Good. Are you excited to start this program?
Yes, I am.
Great. So let's start. I'm going to take you through the foundations you need. Without wasting much time, let's begin. We have a lot to give to you. We have a lot to cover, as you can see, and we want to ensure promptness. We want to ensure that you get the best during these few weeks. Now, today, I'm going to be taking you through a very important topic to kickstart your research journey with a solid foundation in academic research principles. I'm sure you are eager to learn. So welcome to the other Global Academic Research Training Mentorship Masterclass. And this lecture is just going to provide you with a solid foundation in academic research. And it is aimed at equipping you with the tools and mindsets for a successful research journey. So whether you are a beginner or you just want to refine your skills, or you are already into research, this course is still for you. Now, what is research? What is academic research? I define it as a systematic investigation to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So research is an investigation. When you search what has been searched before, you research it to get new insights. Then you are doing research. There are different types of research, as we're going to see later. But then, any endeavor that involves identifying a research problem or question, or reviewing existing literature, or collecting data and analyzing the data with a view of drawing new conclusions and contributing to knowledge, can be termed as research. And don't be afraid to start small. Start with us, start from anywhere you can start under mentorship, and we're going to help you to advance. Now, what are the importance? I mean, what can we say are the important factors in research? Why is research so important? Number one, you do research to contribute to the body of knowledge in a field. Don't just analyze data. Do you want to contribute to a body of knowledge? When you want to do any research, ask yourself, what do I want to add? What new information do I want to give to people? That's research. Then, do you want to solve problems? So start thinking, because we're going to make you to do research during this period. We're going to make you write a research paper. We're going to help you to develop your own research paper. So when you try to provide solutions to real-world problems, that is research. Then when you enhance your critical thinking, analytical, and writing skills, research will help you. As you are doing research, it will help you to enhance your critical writing skills. You will be able to write well. By the end of the research, you are not the same again. You'll be able to, you know, the way we do academic research is different from the secondary school essays. So you'll be able to write well, to enhance your critical writing skills, and then you'll be able to write properly at the end of the day. That is research. So now another important of research is it is essential for your academic and career advancements. See, I've told some of our past students before that you can't underestimate the importance of research. The first trip I ever made, or a scholarship that I made to the US several years ago, it was a professor in the US that saw my research, he saw my paper online, and he contacted me directly. And the rest is history. And then we started talking, and he brought me to the US. Sometimes during our past research training mentorship programs, some people published some papers, some of our mentees published some papers, and now they are telling me that, oh, people have started calling them from UK, from everywhere, from Australia, to come and present papers, because they feel if you could publish in that kind of journal or with that kind of publisher, then it means that you are good. It means that you are analytical. It means that you have good writing and even presentation skills. So they want to hear more from you. So that's what research can do for you. You go from height to height. Then research is highly useful. I've said it before. Many people say they want scholarship, but they don't know that research is a way to push them forward. Even one of our past mentees, he has published 2 papers before graduating from undergraduate, and then now he's applying for PhD directly, and he's going to get it. And that's not the first time. You don't even need a master's to get PhD scholarship. If you can sit down and collaborate with good mentors and publish good papers, then it's as good as a master's thesis that is not published, that is just kept in the library, in the school library, unpublished. And that can fetch you a good PhD scholarship. Or even if you have finished your PhD, it can fetch you a good postdoc scholarship. And you're aware of the popular slogan among academics, publish or perish. In fact, that's a very popular slogan. Many people don't know. Publish or perish. There's hardly anything you can do without publishing in the academic world or in the literary world. You must publish. People must be able to Google your name, and apart from Facebook, they see something that you have written, you have contributed, added to the body of knowledge. Are you ready for that? That is what we want to make you do. And then you can imagine the joy. People will be citing your work from India, from America, from Australia, people that don't even know you. They're already citing your work. Your name has gone before you. That is a great fulfillment. That is wonderful. And you can start doing this at any stage. And that is what we want to achieve. Right. Now, let's see the key principles of research. What are the key principles? You must know about the research ethics, how to design your research, and probably how to review literature. Now, when we're talking about research ethics, there's what is called integrity. You don't take from other people's work and copy and paste verbatim. You don't go and take a work that has been published. You just copy the whole result, the whole word, the introduction. You copy and paste it. You copy the result section, the method, the equation. Copy and paste it directly. The only thing you change is your name. Is the name. You change the name of the previous author to your own name. and you say you have done research. No, that can even send you to jail. You must be careful. You must have integrity. And in terms of confidentiality, you don't expose the results that you have not published. You don't be careful the people you show. Some people can take that result and go and publish it before you even publish it. So you must be careful. And there must be informed consent in terms of the people you are writing with. Do they agree that you should put their name? Has everybody ready? Has everybody consented? Even the data you are using, has it been approved? You must be able to get informed consent and then avoid plagiarism. You know what plagiarism means? Avoid copying from other people's work. Even when you copy from, you use OpenAI, you still have to edit it. You have to rewrite it in your own words, sort of. So then every research must have a research question. Must have a research question. What is your question? What question do you want to answer? So start thinking within. Some of you have topics already. Start thinking, what do I want to answer at the end of the day? At the end of this paper, what do I want to answer? What hypothesis? An hypothesis is an assumption. What hypothesis do I want to counter? What assumption do I want to counter while doing this research? Then methodology. What kind of methodology do I want to use? You have to start thinking about it. What kind of method? Then, what kind of data do you want to collect? There must be data to back up your research, empirical data to back it up. Then, data analysis. Do you know how to analyze the data? How are you going to analyze the data? That's where the use of Python and R comes in. So look at holistically, if you begin to look inward, begin to look at all this, you will then see that you ask yourself, can I do research? Can I publish a paper? We're going to show you examples of papers, research articles that have been published. We're going to take you through the entire process from conception to submission of the paper, even to publications, to the extent that you publish the paper. Now, what gap are you trying to fill? There must be a gap that you want to fill in literature. Somebody has done this, somebody has done that, but someone has not done this. It will even be in terms of method. Someone has not used this method. Then you can fill that gap to see how it will look, no matter how small the difference it creates. That is research. You need to do something. You need to start doing something. You need to fill a gap. You need to provide context and then be able to integrate resources together to form your own gap that you want to fill. So these are part of the key principles of a good research. Now, let's see the steps to kickstart your research journey. That was why some of you in the bootcamp, now our bootcamp, say choose a topic. The first thing, you must be able to choose a topic after you have identified the problem that you want to solve. Choose a topic that will interest, that will be relevant, that is feasible. Then develop a research proposal. Develop a research proposal, and then the introduction, the research question, like we're saying, the literature review, the methodology, the timeline. We're going to make you pass through all that. So from this time to this time, I must finish the introduction. From this time to this time, I must finish the literature review. From this time to this time, I want to finish the methodology. Then I want to analyze the data during this period. Then, depending on the resources and the budget, can this be achieved? And you must be able to develop such. Sit down with your collaborator and develop. So then, after that, you begin to conduct your research, collect the data, start analyzing it. Sometimes you analyze the data first before you even go and write the introduction. You analyze the data first to see whether the results will be interesting. That was why we started by saying, learn Python. Like, even if you don't know Python yet, you can collaborate with people that knows it. We're still going to talk about that. You collaborate with people that knows it, and then you'll be able to do something together. Bring your skills forward. Everybody must contribute. Research is like building a house. There are bricklayers, there are carpenters, there are people, tilers. Everybody come together, put something in the paper, and then make it work. And by the time you see the paper, you'll be surprised that the paper is now what it is. So writing and publishing entails a good structure. It must be clear, clarity. Your English, your grammar must be clear enough. Then peer review. And then you revise again and again before you submit. Before you submit. Before you submit. And you revise again and again. Right. Now, there are some common challenges. Time management is a challenge. Time management. If you don't plan your time well, you will discover that you can't complete your aim. Then you prioritize. Prioritize. Avoid procrastination. Avoid procrastination. Don't procrastinate. Once you want to do something, do it. And once we group you, if you are asked to do a part, maybe your own is to do data analysis, do it on time. Maybe your own to do literature review, do it on time. We're going to train you how to do each of the aspects. Do it on time. Then you will get access to libraries, online libraries, databases, where you can fetch data, collect data legally, and then you have networking. You have network of researchers, mentors that we can work with. What we are going to try to do is to assign you to an intermediate mentor and assign you also to a professor that will oversee the work again. So you have 2 levels of mentorship here in this program, and you can publish a good paper. Now, as you are writing, you break your tasks into smaller steps. Seek feedback at every moment. First of all, you can write freely. Then you don't be afraid to start. Start. Write something. Then break the task into smaller steps. And then continue to seek feedback from mentors or from your colleagues. And then you see that it's going to be a success. Now that you have a very good foundation, I've told you about the foundation, what it takes, the real foundation, the principles. Now we want to see how you write a specific paper. Now, that paper must be structured in a way that it will communicate findings to the academic community. What story are you trying to tell? Whenever you are writing a research paper, as you are listening to me, begin to think, what story will I tell? What new thing can I tell the reader? Why should someone read my paper? So that's what I want to discuss, how you can structure your paper that it will be interesting. That's what I want to discuss in the next slides. Now you have to start with abstract. Sometimes, like I said before, the abstract can be written at the end of the whole thing. But the abstract, first of all, the abstract is something that would captivate people if they are going to read it or not. The abstract is what the research is all about. And there's a way to write it. The abstract is just a summary of the paper. It includes your problem, objectives, method, key finding, your conclusion. It's typically a 1-paragraph document with around between 150 and 250 words, not too much. And it must provide a snapshot to the readers, snapshot of what you are writing to the readers. Sometimes you want to submit to a journal, they will first ask for the abstract. They will ask for the abstract in a separate format, in a separate form. Then once you submit the abstract, once they see the way you wrote it, then they will know, oh, this is promising. They will say, submit the full paper. So in your abstract, I designed a formula for abstract. Remember, start with a preamble statement. All of us are going to do that exercise. A preamble statement, like a general statement. Let's say you are investigating about malaria. Then you can start with a mind-blowing opening statement. At the effects, the devastating effects of malaria in developing country cannot be overemphasized. That's a mind-blowing statement. They will read it and say, why? Oh, malaria, or maybe it's even dengue fever. Then you continue by stating the problem statement. This is because governments have failed to identify proper diagnostic tools that can be used to diagnose malaria, something like that. Then, wow, what is your solution? In this paper, what is the procedure here? In this paper, we use machine learning models to diagnose malaria. Oh, wow, machine learning. Has it been used before? Before they were using rapid kits for testing, for diagnosing malaria. Oh, this guy wants to use machine learning. Oh, really? Let's see what he has to say. Then, products. We find that so machine learning algorithm proved to be the best, and it could identify or diagnose malaria better than previous methods that have been used. Wow, really? Policy. We hereby suggest, based on the result of this paper, that policymakers, government should use machine learning methods to diagnose malaria, should deploy machine learning methods in clinics that to diagnose early stages of malaria. Say, wow, okay, that's wonderful. Another example could be, look at in your abstract, we want to see statement like, this study investigates the impact of X on Y, something on something, or the effect of something on something, using a mixed method approach. Can you see this statement now? This is the what? The procedure. Maybe some statement must have come before this. The procedure. Then this is the what? The product. The result indicates a single correlation suggesting implication for, can you see the policy? The implication, policy implications, suggesting implication for Z, Z. So this is the way your abstract will be constructed in very simple terms. Right. Now, let's go further. Introduction. Your introduction should be very captivating. You set the stage for the research by writing a very good introduction. It must include the following: background and context of the study. Tell us a little bit background story about the study, about the problem, about what you are writing about. Then give us the research problem that you wish to solve. Maybe you have searched it, you have not seen anybody doing it. You have not seen anybody writing such. That was what I wrote in that paper years ago. I just wrote it, and the professor saw it, and he was captivated and said, wow, we need to talk, we need to meet together. Now, what do you think will be the significance of your study? You need to be able to write well about your study. Don't begin to shoot your own study, right? When you are not confident that your study is significant, nobody will think it is significant. You need to be bold. You need to be sure, confident about what you're writing about. Then put in the research question. There must be a question to be answered. What is this? Some journal editors, once they see a research paper, they say, what question is this research answering? What question is this research answering? That's the first thing they will ask. What question are you trying to ask? Are you trying to answer the question that explainable AI methods can help us to explain machine learning models better? Or what? For instance, So you must be able to write your introduction in a way that it will engage the readers properly and provide a roadmap for the paper. So everyone, please take notes. As you are writing your research paper, please write a very good introduction that will captivate the reader. Then the tip here, or the trick here, is to start with a broad context and then narrow it down to your specific research problem. Years ago, when I started writing paper, I would just write. I didn't know you need to identify any problem. I didn't know you needed to say anything about the research question you want to answer or about the gap you want to fill. I just wrote on that thing and then just leave it there. No, you have to be able to narrow it down before you finish the introduction section. Why is my research important? This present study is important, especially in this 21st century, to be able to navigate the right directions to solving similar problems as they are identifying those factors that affect X, Y, Z. Right, you need to say it properly. Now, let's go further to the next part, literature review. You need to, there's no research without looking at previous studies that have been done. No research at all. That's why it's called research. You research what has been searched before. Right. What has been searched before, you research it again and get something new. That is research. That's why it's so important. And people are waiting. It could even be something in your city or village that you are writing on. People in another country, they are waiting to know about it. They want to know about it. Tell them the story. They want to read about it. They are eager. They couldn't travel there, but they are eager to read. They are searching online to see whether there will be a scholar like you or a researcher. They'll be able to go there, collect the data there, and write about it and enlighten them, you know. And then for you to know whether someone has not written about it, you need to go online through some mentors who are going to teach you. Be able to do literature review, what we call literature review, proper literature review. Identify gaps in literature. Then you synthesize the key findings from previous studies. And you'll formulate a theoretical framework that will guide your research. Then, by so doing, you are demonstrating your understanding of the field. You don't just dabble into the study without referring to previous recent studies. And this, the trick here is that you must organize it chronologically, thematically, and methodically, right? You can pick it from 1995, in 1996, what happened 1997, 1980, what happened 85. Somebody came up and did this again in 1990. Another person, a group of researchers came up and did this. Another in the year 2000, Oyediro and Adeniji wrote a seminar paper on so. They used a method called XYZ to discover KWI, and then they got this. But in the present study, I will say that no one has used this particular method we are using from the previous studies. And that is the gap we want to cover. That is what we want to do presently. And then you demonstrate your understanding, you organize it properly. Now in your methodology, you now describe how the research was conducted. You now introduce your method that you are bringing in. Maybe qualitative, it could be your research design may be a qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method. Or mix the mixture of qualitative and quantitative. Then you tell us about your data collection method. Is it a survey? Is it experiment in the lab or chemistry lab? Or is it via interview? How did you collect your data? Most research are accompanied with data. That's why this is the era of data. It's data science. That's why data science is becoming popular. Any research you do must be supported by good data that you must analyze empirically, be able to support your findings. You know, maybe through some statistical test or machine learning or thematic analysis or what have you. Then you ensure reproducibility. This is the era of reproducible research. That's why every Python code that you use in this group, you must be able to preserve it, and so that others can use it, and they will be able to or reproduce, maybe for another kind of data. Or sometimes you submit to a journal, they will say, submit your code and your data, and we want to run it, whether you coined it, whether you actually run the result, right? So you ensure that you are detailed and precise to allow for replications, right? Now, let's see the data analysis aspects. The data analysis aspects explain how you analyze the data that was collected. You could use tools like Python, statistical, or qualitative techniques could be applied. Then tell us the assumptions of your analysis. Then provide transparency and validity of your findings. How valid are your findings? And the trick here, you must use very visually appealing graphs, tables, charts to present your. It's like you are serving food. You see somebody that is turning a swallow in the kitchen. That's analyzing the data, cooking it. By the time he's serving it, bringing it out, you have to serve it well in a good plate, good graphs. You have to be able to analyze the data, use good graphics, present it well, so that it will be appealing to the readers, right? So these are things you need to know. You don't just analyze, present data anyhow. That's why we said your ability to know how to use some software is very, very key. And that's why we started with you that way. Now, let's see your results. You must present your results in an appealing way. Tell us the key trends, the key data points, the significance in the statistics you have computed. The visual presentations are there as part of the results section, and avoid interpretation at this stage. Just present results. Don't analyze, don't interpret so much, don't discuss so much at this stage. Just give us the result. Then in the discussion section, that's when you will now be able to discuss, explain your findings properly. There are some papers were published in time past many years ago. We thought paper is just analyzing data, showing results. No, you have to tell us what each graph means. You have to tell us the name of each graph, each table, each figure in that table. What does it entail? What does it mean? What is it telling us? You have to be able to explain everything in details to the reader. You then compare with previous results. Tell us the implication for the theory, practice, or policy, and even the limitation. You can't cover everything in a research paper, in a single research paper. If you have limitations, be honest. Tell us, oh, in this research or in this paper, we couldn't cover X, Y, Z because of this limitation. In future studies, we hope to achieve that. Fantastic. Let the readers know. And then tell us how your studies have been able to fill in the gap that you proposed in literature review, under your literature review. Tell us how you were able to answer those gaps. It must be there. Right. Then you conclude. That's the paper already. Then you conclude. You bring us back to the summary of your key findings. Then you can restate the objective. The objective of this paper was to do this and this. And in this paper, we'll be able to achieve it. First, we discover that this is this. Secondly, we discover this and that. And the key takeaways in this study are as follows. Number one, this machine learning should be used for malaria diagnosis to support the rapid diagnostic test. Secondly, the use of explainable AI have proved effective in order to give further verification to the diagnosis of the disease. Then, thirdly, you tell us the key takeaways straight to the point. Don't hide anything, nothing shoddy. Go straight to the point. Remember, you're still going to show a mentor who will help you read it and look over it again. There's nothing too difficult about it, but just do your part. Then you recommend for future research. In this study, we are able to cover only some basic machine learning models. But in future, we recommend some advanced machine learning neural network models like LSTM, recurrent neural network, and so on and so forth. And then you leave the reader with a clear understanding of your contribution. And you end with a memorable statement, a very memorable statement. So your introduction must be captivating. Your conclusion must also be captivating. And you don't joke with those sections because many readers, they won't have time to go through the entire thing. And your grammar must be well put together. Good thing, this is the era of open AI. We have grammar correctors, Grammarly, Mendeley, and all that. You can write a research paper, even 2 research papers, good ones, in 3 months, if you mean it, and you will do it. Right. So essentially, my final thoughts, writing a research paper, you have seen the structure and iterative process. You submit it for feedback, they give you feedback, you go and correct that area again. You bring it back, you correct it again, until it becomes a full-blown paper that even when you see it, you'll be surprised, you'll be shocked. Am I the one that wrote this paper? That is how a research paper is. Also, even when you now collaborate with others, oh, you'll be so happy. And oh, so I was able to collaborate in such a paper and you publish in a good paper. Some people, undergraduates, even they just finished their BSc, and by the time they collaborated with senior mentors and professors, and the paper has been published, and they write them from UK, they address them as doctor. Dear Dr. So we saw your paper online. We would like to know more about it. Can you come for this conference? Although most of them don't sponsor, but some of them might sponsor, like it happened to me. And then you start your journey there. You go there, you present there. From there, you meet other collaborators. You publish with them. From there, leads you to the other. Then you start writing papers. Once you are able to start your first paper, second paper, then you don't stop again. Research is like that. It's a continuous iterative process. In fact, it will lead you to other areas that you need to research. And please take note that each section plays a critical role in communicating your research. Every section, like you have seen, even from the title, they want to see a very captivating title. I'm going to show you how to craft the title after now. And from the title to the conclusion, to the reference, everything must be put well put together. And you must stay organized, seek feedback from us, and revise thoroughly. Take note of that, revise thoroughly. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to publish. And I hope that you will publish good papers after now. You are already motivated to publish well and to publish good papers. Now I'm going to stop here. I hope this has been an opening way of motivating you to do something. I'm going to stop here. Then we're going to answer some questions. So feel free to ask questions from all that I've discussed today and share your thoughts. So let's continue the discussions. And thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Prof, for this insightful session and elaborative discussion. I believe we all gained something tangible as a foundational base to research development. Please, if you have any question, okay, Abigail has put up her hand. If you can't unmute yourself, please just use the chat section to ask your questions and we'll get your answers, or you will get your questions answered accordingly. So, Abigail, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I must confess, like, this session is a really very educative and mind-blowing one. Thank you so much, sir. So I've just been thinking, like, I've been motivated by the class and all. So I've been thinking now that as a chemistry student, because I really want to publish at least 2 papers from this training. So I want to know, like, as a chemistry student now, is there a way we can publish paper without having because we talked about introduction, literature review, methodology and all that, without having like a research that you have done? Or do we have to like carve out the research and go to the lab and all? So that's just the basis of my question. Like, how can we still carry it out without necessarily going to the lab and mixing chemicals and all that? Because I really want to publish paper. That's my question, sir.
That's a very good question, Abigail. and thanks for the feedback. Yes, you can use secondary data. Going to the lab, that is primary data, isn't it? So you can also use secondary data and other related studies that does not necessarily require you going to the lab. Most data science studies does not require you to go to the lab to fetch data afresh. So is there a possibility of you getting some secondary data? Do you know what secondary data is?
Like someone else's work. Well, if it has been published, that means like you can't. That's just like plagiarizing someone else's work.
So
Or
in chemistry, does it mean that that's plagiarism, the data?
I don't, no, I feel like when you are doing someone else's work,
For
that's like
instance,
you are.
if the person used the data and used another method, are you getting me? And
Okay.
used another method, you can now say, oh,
Okay, sir.
and you make proper reference to that person. That's not plagiarism. You say this, the aim of this is that
Okay.
you to continue from where patients stopped in 2023. So by extending a method
Okay.
on our data to so method, right? That's also a research. Is that okay? Is that
Okay,
okay?
sir. I hope to understand better.
Yeah. Any other question?
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, is well, maybe just closely related to what she asked, because for me, I was thinking, do I still need to go to the field again to start getting another set of data apart from the one I've done? Well, I think you've answered that to some extent. And then again, I wanted to ask the publication. I think most of the, or at least from the ones I've seen, the very good ones, the very good journals are really expensive. I don't know, is there a way to go around that? Because I know the expenses can be limiting, that maybe like publishing in a very good journal, and those ones are expensive. So is there any way to go around it? Does it mean that, okay, maybe you have to do the work with some people to cut down costs? I remember we published one last year and we're about 10 because and even at that, it was so expensive still, but it was a very good journal. So I don't know if there's a way to go around that. And then if I want to publish more papers aside the one I've already done, I think is also the question I wanted to ask. Do I still have to go back to the field? How do I go today? My first degree was chemistry, actually. So I get what she's asking, like, because we have to do analysis, we have to go to the field and all of that. So is there any way to go around that? Maybe like a survey and an online a survey or something that will be relevant. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So if there's a way to go around it, there's a way to go around it. That's the answer. And concerning the money, the publication, there are free journals that you can publish in. Even the one you gather together to pay for, you could have as well have published it free, but it will take longer time. It will take longer time. But there are some good journals, they collect money. They are good journals. They collect money, but then they will not, they collect money and then the response will be rapid. But those who don't collect money, the response may not be happy. There are some papers may not be rapid. There are some papers we have waited for 2 years, some 1 year, 2 years to get published. And that is why you have to start early, start as soon as possible. But there are some others that you can publish on time within 6 months. And you don't have to pay anything. That's what we are going to try to do here. That's what we are going to try to do here. We are going to try as much as possible to publish in those free journals that are also good. But I would like to see the one that you said that the 10 of you published. I would like to see it. Is that okay? Is that okay? I will talk more on this later on.
Yes, sir.